What is up, guys? It's Nicola back with another Jira administration video, and in this video we're going to be talking about the project templates. Now, as the Jira administrator, you actually you need to know some of the project templates, and I'm going to tell you right from the bat, you actually need to know, well, it's actually a must know, 3 templates which are going to be Kanban, Scrum, bug tracking. And the uh, this is within the part of software development projects. All right, so let's talk about each of those. Of course, sure, there are other templates as well, but as Jira admin, you should also be knowing about some things, certain things about the agile methodologies, and to actually be familiar what Kanban is and what actually Scrum is. Now, for both, there is actually going in depth, especially if you're doing a certain role that is preaching these methodologies, such as the product owner or such as the Scrum Master, who is, of course, focused on the Scrum projects. Now, I'm not going to go into in depth about these templates. I'm just going to say the basic ones for the admins to know, you know, which templates are actually there and which templates they can actually suggest for their users that want to actually build some of the projects. But mostly, from my experience at least, is that your team is gonna require you most of the time to actually look for the Kanban board. But of course, it actually varies from team to team. So it's a good idea to know about this. When it comes to the Kanban, so first of all, Kanban is all about the visualization of your work within your specific board. Kanban is much more lightweight than the Scrum itself, and the main idea is actually to have that continuous flow of work on your board, and it's all visual representation, of course, of your issues within the Kanban board itself. So you have that. You have that continuous flow of work. You also need to be able to limit the work in progress. So the work in progress, this actually can mean lots of things. So when it comes to defining work in progress, you can have a Kanban board that has multiple columns, and within those multiple columns you're going to have different in progress status category statuses. So because like I mentioned before, you have 3 status categories, which are going to be to do, in progress, and done. Okay, so that's one thing. The another thing is, so you want to limit as much as possible the in progress work. All right, this could be in progress, in review, in code review, doesn't really actually matter. You just wanna get the job done. If you actually want me to be more accurate, it's like getting the shit done. So that is the number 2 purpose of the Kanban. Also, within the Kanban itself, it's actually yes, the prioritization is there as well, because based on the agile methodology, you should actually be working on the most critical issues first, then going to the other issues. I mean, it's the easiest thing to do, to do some of the low priority stuff and say, my work is done, but that is not a really good practice, and it's not something that should be focusing on, because you need to tackle on first type, the most critical work that is actually in there. Um, what else do we actually have about the Kanban? So in this project template, and as you can see, so first of all, it is defined by the issue types and the workflows as well. And you can actually see what is going to be the workflow, what are going to be the issue types, and etc. The another thing is you can continuously use one report that is actually really good for the Kanban. It's actually cumulative flow chart where you can actually see what kind of work is being done within your specific Kanban project. But like I said, when you have that continuous work where you're not focused on the estimations and things like that, the Kanban is going to be the great option for you. Of course, as the admin, you're going to be creating a company managed project, so keep that in mind. Okay, this is the Kanban. Second one, Scrum. Scrum is more focused on finishing the work in those time boxed periods of time, where in agile methodology they're called actually the sprints. And there is a whole philosophy behind this, especially for the Scrum Masters and the certified Scrum Master, how it actually goes, who is participating there, how many ceremonies are actually in there, what are the artifacts, and things like that. But to give in the basics, Scrum is all about when you actually have the estimations of the work, and usually these estimations can either be in story points, or it could be like the regular estimation, like hours, days, whatever. And also there are other ways of how you can actually estimate the things, but really as Jira admin you don't really care about those. You shouldn't really focus on that much. That's one thing. The another thing is, of course, when you're actually creating the Scrum board, when you create an issue, that issue is not going to be visible because you haven't started your sprint yet, and it's going to go within the backlog itself. And when you start the sprint, instead of seeing the board name, you're going to be seeing something like active sprints, and within those active sprints are going to be issues that you define within the backlog and put into the sprint itself. And the good thing is, so this is actually for the teams who want to have more focus on delivering the work in smaller periods of time. That shouldn't be longer than 2 weeks. And there are other things like doing the ceremonies and going through all of the ceremonies and having the daily stand-ups and having all of these meetings and stuff like that. I don't know about you, but if really there is a need to actually organize a meeting when you're really discussing about something that can actually have an impact, organize them. But don't organize them for that meeting to be lasting, like, I don't know, for an hour or something like that. Because first of all, who is going to have the full attention of 1 hour about something? Okay, because people have other things to do. They need to be focusing on their task that they need to finish, especially if they are having some tight deadlines or something like that, because all of us are facing the deadlines and we do not actually like the deadlines, and we're working under the pressure, and then someone else comes and says, we need to have this meeting in 1 hour, and sometimes it's pointless because sometimes those meetings go into the wrong direction. But this is also something that is a skill, and that actually, of course, needs to be polished. Back to the back to the project template, and as you can see, the workflow in here is also to do, in progress, to done. And in the Scrum, you're actually focusing on the capacity and the velocity of your team as well within your specific reports. Now, of course, reports from Kanban, reports from Scrum are actually indifferent. Now, as Jira admin, you necessarily don't need to know about each of these projects, especially to read them, especially to see how is it going, because this now goes more into the work of product owners and Scrum Masters. You're not them, okay? You're someone who is focused on technicalities of the Jira, and you're setting up as it is, so Scrum Master and product owner can actually work on them along with their teams. And last but not least, I wanted to talk about bug tracking. Now, see, bug tracking, as far as I know, is something that is being as less as possible being used as a template. And I believe the main reason for this is because when you create your Scrum project, when you create your Kanban project, it comes with the created board automatically. With the bug tracking, you have to create your board by yourself. That is one thing. Bug tracking. And then there is a question. Why should we having a bug tracking when we're having a software project? I mean, within the software project, doesn't really matter if it's Kanban or is it going to be Scrum, we already have the issue type of a bug, and we are also tracking the bugs. Now, if we want to have something extra like Zephyr, or to have, like, I don't know, X-Ray, where we can write the test cases and where we can make the test plans and test executions, everything like that, we can do all of those things, but we do not need the bug tracking. And I don't know, honestly, why actually this template is right there, but yeah, it's just, for your own knowledge to just know that there is bug tracking as well. But to summarize everything, Kanban, Scrum, those two things, you just need to know about them. And that's it. Okay, guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to the channel as well. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.